All right, let's check it out. So I've drawn some lines here, and what I'll do is I'll kind of work backwards. So you get the inclined line going from my back foot to my head. The goal with this is a forward lean. My leverage is going forwards. This should simulate me walking towards the target. That's why we have that forward incline. Because if you start walking and you suddenly stop, you're going to want to feel yourself fall forward. That's kind of like the vibe we're going for here, right? All right, so we'll go with the green line. The green line is showing my hips, the front part of my hips over the ball of my lead foot. I would say I'm probably an inch or two too far back. The blue line is the shoulder uh, past the hips, right? You only need a couple of inches for that. So let's clear that out. So again, it's my hips, a little back. I need to push my hips forward just a touch. And then the white line here is head over past the lead foot. Here I like to try to get past my lead foot because I'm not a super big dude. I don't have a lot of mass, so I have to really use as much leverage as possible. Let's take a look how this translates to the actual shooting. All right, let's back it up. So what do we see? Let's block off my body here. Block off my muff. Block off my hands. And see where the movement happens. So let's see. I'm fishing a little bit here. All right. So this is where we're at here. Now let's watch the movement. So I'm getting pushed back just like an inch. Not too bad. Where can we improve this? As always, I need to pull in it a little bit tighter, right? I think really actually my grip is pretty good here. I don't see a lot of movement because what you're looking for is a gun bouncing off your shoulder and then hitting your shoulder and that moves your upper body. I think here is just a matter of my hips being a little too far back. And so it pushes me through the hips, right? What happens is this energy goes through and goes out kind of your hips if they're too far back, right? The air chair is terrible for this because your ass is hanging out in space. So it says probably that's the main thing. What can I do to make this better? Actually get my knees a little bit further forwards, and that'll bring my hips forwards, and that'll bring my upper body forwards and help alleviate this. And let's see. So as far as alignment, what we're looking for is top of the stock should be in line with the top of the shoulder. I would say it might be like a half-inch low, right? You really want that top of the stock in line with the top of the shoulder, and then maybe even driving the shoulder even more forwards. That always helps. I demonstrated that in the other video. When your shoulder gets loose, the thing is going to skip off in a different direction. Also, what this does, the main thing with this is, there's a big popularity with the high risers, right? Is what happens is guys will put the top of the stock like down here, or maybe not that low. Sometimes I see it that low. Oops, bad line. You guys on the internet will sit there and put their stock there, and they have this high mount to try to get it in line with the eye. We've got it in line with the shoulder as is. You'll see that I have it in line with the optic with no issues. Now, nothing wrong with the high mount, it does help with like passive night vision use. And if you want that more heads up technique, all good. Again, as long as the head is past the shoulders, shoulders are past the hips, and hips are past the lead foot. So it's less important of how upright your head is versus if it's forward enough, right? Also, eye relief on optics is going to play a part into this. All right, we'll look at the stance on this. Again, this is kind of the internet lore, what I'm calling that stance. And what's wrong with this let's start with the arrow. When that's talking about the back leg being so far back, right? When I explained that your stance should be replicating the mid stride of a walk. Now, your walking gait, this is a little exaggerated, but the main problem with shooting like this and training yourself to shoot like this is that you're basically anchoring, right? And so, because your back leg is anchoring your hips can't get far forward enough, right? So now you're more centered up, but now you're going to get pushed by the gun because you don't have that forward leverage. So again, I'm going to start disappearing the lines and talk about them. The arrow again is the boat anchor type deal, right? You're anchoring your leg, it pulls your hips back. What happens when your hips are back? You can't leverage the gun well enough. So we'll undo this. Okay, so yellow line again is the shoulders. Notice the shoulders are centered basically. They're a little further forward, but they're still basically centered between my feet. I'm still too up and down. I'm not getting the forward lean against the gun that I need. The red line is the hips. It's more along the midfoot. Like the lead part of my hips is about the midfoot versus the ball of the foot. A couple inches make a big difference. All right, so again, yellow line is the shoulders. Notice the shoulders were further back from the hips. You want the shoulders in front of the hips, and then head in front of the shoulders. Head is also the white line is right in line with basically the front of the midfoot. Too far back, it needs to be out here. Oops, bad line. It needs to be out here to get that leverage. So it's all about angles, right? Geometry and leverage. And also, you notice that I had a tall group, right? If you have a tall group like this, is because you're basically you're getting pushed back, right? You're getting pushed back, so the gun goes up, but your brain is like, oh, I'm going up, so you push the gun back down. And so on a strength of fire, you have this up and down oscillation. So let's watch. Actually, I forgot to mark my body here. Let's do that. Let's try to zoom in here. Shoulders, muffs, hands. And here I'm doing the arm extended type of deal, but I am still trying to hold it tight, right? Anytime you hold it tight and you drive the shoulder or push it against like your middle of your chest, it's going to hold the gun in place. However, this is weak because you could walk up and snatch the gun right out of my hand. However, if I do the other technique I showed you, I'm going to be really able to hold on to it. So let's watch the movement here. I'm getting pushed back about three times more. I moved maybe a half inch to an inch on the last stance because my hips need to go forward a little bit, but look how much further I'm moving. And look how much the gun is moving. Holy crap, right? It's going up and down. And you see that with the group comparison, right? The other stance that John teaches me, that group was smaller than my fist, and I'm still shooting at that distance from the other angle that I showed you guys, right? Like about 7-10 yards, somewhere around there. And I have like a fist-sized group, and then with this, I'm having, that group like over triples in size. And so what's important about this, up close, might not matter too much, but, if I shoot like this at 25 yards, this might keep me on a C-zone reduced plate. With the other technique, I might not even, be able to keep it in the D zone, right? Yep. And we're looking for lethality. We're not just trying to just hit someone in the body. We're looking for efficient, deadly hits. So that's kind of the difference of like the internet lore, like what looks cool, grip, and what it looks like under slow-mo with some reference lines versus what I've learned from John, which is, if you compare it, is the better technique simply because you move less, you can shoot more accurately, and you can still shoot fast, and that's the goal, is fast and accurate through efficiency. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.